All right, welcome back to H2H. We're in the second round of the playoffs, the Divisional now. Tasos, you are coming off of a win last week. For those watching, Tasos, as of like 3 weeks ago, I don't even know what it was, needs to essentially win out to have a chance in this damn thing. And you pull off maybe the narrowest, maybe it wasn't the narrowest, because you've had a couple of narrow ones, so have I. But last week was one of the clutchest, narrowest wins for you of the season, because we both went 2-2, but my picks, and if you rewind and watch back last week, I had even said that these are so juiced it's going to come back to bite me. It's exactly what happened. We both went 2-2, but my wins were minus 150, minus 145, including the fade me win, which I thought would be massive. You know, me and my kicker props. And you pull out a couple wins as well. You go 2-2, but your wins were minus 120, minus 110, you know, more normal earthling realms. So congratulations on yet another win. You texted me and said, that's another week. And what did I say to you? I was like, I'm actually getting nervous now, because now it's like we only have a few weeks left and you've hit your hot streak. I haven't gotten cold, but you've hit your hot streak.
Yeah, I want to do a victory lap. I want to go ahead and celebrate and be like, oh my God, we're hitting our stride. But like, honestly, these last couple of weeks where we've won has been real like sweats. Like it really has come down to like the odds of a couple of our bets. Cause like the week before, you know, I had the double down obviously in that fade me pick that almost screwed me. But luckily, again, you've kind of been taking these juiced plays the last couple of weeks and it's come back to bite you. I actually was kicking myself. I'm like, man, I should have doubled down on the big T's. I didn't. And I feel like it's going to come back to haunt me. And I was like, now the Vikings game, I'm like, that was awful. But luckily, Mike Evans came through. The big T's never fails. We're alive. Yeah. We're still alive. We still got a shot. We're barely surviving. But you know what? As long as you give me a shot, you give me a chance. I'm amped up. If I were you, I wouldn't be nervous now. I would be nervous next week. If I win this week, next week is win, because I still have to win the preseason video, which I am winning, but obviously the Eagles win the Super Bowl. That goes out the window. And I have to win the last 3 weeks. If I win this week, though, then I think...
Yeah, because that would be... So just for the sake of argument, filling everyone in, we'll give you the preseason, right? So that's 2 additional wins from last week. So now it would be 8-11. If you win this week, we're looking at 9-11 for you, 11-9 for me, with 2 weeks to go. And we've already made the pact that from now until the end of time of H2H, if someone ever goes on a scorching run to finish and it ends in a tie at the end of the year or whatever, then that person gets the win because of the comeback, because that other person, like me in this case, wouldn't deserve that trophy. So yeah, I guess nervous isn't the right word, but it changes how I'm going to play, because my operating process for the last few weeks has been to take some of these juiced plays. Let's get some winners on the board and almost try and kill you by 1,000 paper cuts, right? But it hasn't been working. Like the minus 145s, minus 150s, you've been swinging back with minus 110 wins. So earlier in the year, when you were kind of, you know, a little bit more off, these minus 150s were making more of a difference because you'd have a 0 on the other end. But now with your winners, it's a little bit different. So I guess nervous. I'm not nervous. Like, I'd rather be in my position than yours, right?
Yeah.
But it definitely changes my operating process. And honestly, speaking of change, we should probably say it at the beginning of the video, from now until the end of the year, now that we only have a few weeks left and a few teams left, we'll change how many rounds we're doing. Same sort of, process in terms of spinning the wheel and the categories and whatnot. But this week, we're going to do 1 round of spinning the wheel, a 2nd round of spinning the wheel, and then we're going to jump right to fade me. So we'll have 6 plays on the board total and 3 each. We're not going to have our normal 4 each and 8 total. But yeah, all right, guys, going to take a quick break for a second to talk to you about Outlier, the exclusive partner and sponsor of H2H. If you guys don't know what Outlier is, I'm going to show you in just a second. Check it out with the link down below in the description, 7-day free trial. So right here we have the Insights tab, which is an amazing tab if you are running late or don't have all the time in the world to put towards researching, right? What this is going to do, you can head up here and say, okay, well, say we're looking at player props. Say we only want, spots that are minus 130 and inside that. You can apply that. You can even go through and say, okay, well, I'm going to be watching, the Ravens this week. You can filter to that. All of a sudden, now we have player props that are trending, that are inside minus 130, that are only player props, like I mentioned. And hey, I'm going to be watching this game, right? I only want to look at overs. Now we have everything in front of us that we do want to look at, and you can go through here. Lamar Jackson has exceeded 44.5 rushing yards in 9 of his last 10 games on the road. Exceeded 2263.5 pass plus rush. What about this first one, right? It's hitting 9 of his last 10. You can see the odds on Bet365. We can head in and analyze it, and boom, he's been crushing it. Houston against, QBs in terms of rushing yards are a little bit softer than they are on the season. We can see how many rush attempts he's had per game. We can see his rush share, which he's just behind obviously King Henry. This looks like it could be a good play. Go ahead and check out Outlier. Link down below. It's my favorite player prop research tool and game research tool out there. 7-day free trial. Again, that link is down below. Let's get back to the show. I'm ready to jump in. I think you are in a pretty good situation given what you were looking like you were going to be in like 4 weeks ago.
Well, here's the thing. This is the kind of a good spot because, it's fewer picks, which may not be a good thing. It could be a bad thing, but it makes us it gives us a smaller board to work with, which could be a little bit in my favor. Who knows? The funny thing is, I've actually watched back to last year's videos. Do you know that I'm in the same spot that you were last year? I was 11-7.
So I made that comeback, but it just wasn't.
So this was the week that you lost last year.
Okay.
So you got the 7. So it's funny how it's reversed. So last year I went through the videos. I was 11-4. You were 4-11. You won 3 weeks in a row, which I've now done the exact same thing. I was 4-11. We literally have mirrored our seasons, but this is where last year I shut the door on you and won and mathematically eliminated you. Let's see if I can do what you failed to do last year.
All right, that's interesting. It's almost like the production guys are like, "Hey, make this interesting. We got to draw up some drama." But we're the production guys, so I mean, I guess that ain't the case. But yeah, I knew I came back last year. I didn't know it was as much of like a. I guess probably no. I guess it was essentially the same thing. If you're saying 3 in a row, so yeah, I guess I wasn't just as boisterous about it. Your comebacks sound like you won 2 Super Bowls in the same season somehow.
Yeah. Well, listen, I got to get the people amped up for this. I got to keep the people going.
Someone in the comments last week was like, "I like Ev. I'm on Team Ev because he's like the humble winner, and Tasos could be losing, but he's bragging like he won something." I was like, you know what? Kind of the theme of the show there. We
can't both be humble. Somebody's got to be the bad guy.
Someone's got to bring the juice here. But all right, let's go ahead and dive in. If you guys don't know what this show is, you've just listened to us ramble for 5 minutes about what the hell they're doing. This is an NFL pick show in which we do some things a little bit different. We spin a wheel to decide the picking order. We spin a wheel to decide what bet category we're going to jump into. We have a few slices on the wheel this week, so you'll see that in just a second. But yeah, essentially that's what we do. And then at the end, we have a fade me round, which one person gets to make one pick. The other person has to take the exact opposite. So Tasos, you ready to jump in?
Yeah, I'm ready. Before we get more comments about, being 6 minutes of rambling, let's go ahead and jump in.
True.
Before the guppies get mad.
All right, this is the wheel. It's got our names. I believe it's 4 and 4. 4 Ev slices, 4 Tasos slices. Whoever this lands on will be drafting first. Do you care, first or second? Because now it's 2 rounds, so having that back-to-back could actually be a benefit.
I kind of want you to I kind of want you to go first. I want the pressure on you. By the way, how sad were you? I know we've been rambling for a while, but how sad were you when Saquon slid there when he could have had the touchdown to win?
I know. I had a monster game. I mean, I still did phenomenal in that game. Like, that was very good. But when he started, I got off the couch. I was like, go. Because, like, he could have. I know these guys like to take knees and whatnot, but, like, that game wouldn't have been different if he did or didn't score the touchdown. You know what I mean? Like, there's no chance that Green Bay was going to now get the ball and come back and win it. It's like he should have just housed it. But honestly, yeah, that was tough to see. But
it was almost like Saquon Barkley looked back and broke the fourth wall. Looked back at the TV screen, was like, that guy needs to win H2H. So I'm gonna stop.
It's true. Now, I would have swept my Eagles and Packers video too. That was the one play I missed. So a lot riding on that one. But yep, he was. I guess Saquon was Team Tasos last week. Hopefully, if I get anything going with him, Team Ev this week. But let's go ahead and spin it. I don't mind if I go first or second here. I kind of want second though to have that back-to-back pick. And is it going to sit on you?
Oh,
wow, that is a narrow one.
That was very narrow.
All right, you are up. We're going to jump into the next wheel here. How do you feel about the board today before we even get into these things?
There's a couple of spots I like. I think player props is the one area as always where it's like I'm a little iffy on. There's a couple of really interesting spots. There's one I really like, and I think you're gonna like it too. So I'm hoping I steal that from you. But
all right, let's see. You are starting us off, so let's see what we're landing on. And once we land on this one, it gets removed from the wheel for the next round. Another one that's going to be close.
Oh,
Holy. Wow,
total.
that couldn't have been
That was really close.
That couldn't have been closer. All right. Starting off with a total, which I don't know if I love giving you I don't know if you have a total tease plan, but
Oh, I do. Ev, I do.
Oh boy, because I have a oh boy. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So I think we need to set this straight on the teaser rule, because obviously now that there's only 4 games, I think you should be allowed to take an over even if it's included in the teaser.
Okay, so if you take say, game A minus 7 points to be able to go to the over, I can still take the normal number.
Yeah, because I think it's only 4. It's not fair if I'm like, hey, you can't take these two plays.
You tease all 4 of these games now, and it's like
yeah, I actually have a 4-leg teaser for today's video, and we're gonna take all the totals off the board. All right,
I like that.
So I'm gonna do a 2-team, obviously, teaser. I'm gonna go ahead and rock with the Chiefs Texans under. We're doing 7-point tease, so the line's at 41.5. So we're gonna make this the under at 48.5. 2 really good defenses. You saw Houston's defense last week versus the Chargers. I don't think Houston's offense is going to do that again. I think that was the Chargers just kind of pooping in their pants on national television. Chargers being the Chargers. I don't see that happening again. I think Kansas City, they've had a little bit of maybe a little rust here because the starters haven't played in a couple weeks. I think this will be a little bit of a lower scoring affair. I think the last time these two teams played, I don't think that over 48.5 hit. Let me just double check that.
That was Christmas. They played on Christmas, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Was it? I think it was
the Saturday before. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 27-19. So that was the little math. Yeah, 46. So they didn't hit this under cash the last time they played. I think Houston's offense is in a little bit of a worse spot than they were then. And then the segment I'm going to teaser this with is the Commanders and Lions over. We'll knock a touchdown off of that, and so that'll make it at 48.5. So the over 48.5 in that game, the under 48.5 in the Texans-Chiefs game. From the Lions-Commanders standpoint, the Commanders' defense is still not very good. Now, they came off a really impressive win against Tampa Bay. They shocked me. I mean, I looked like an idiot in that video picking the Bucs in that one, but they're especially their run defense. Their run defense is not good. And now you're going with the Lions with Jahmyr Gibbs. They get David Montgomery back this week too. So that's only going to help them. The Lions defense also, on the flip side, I still have question marks about their defense. I know their last time we saw them versus Minnesota, they played really, really well, but we've now seen Minnesota again against the Rams. How much of that was the Vikings offense and Sam Darnold just kind of fumbling? And how much was it the Lions defense is back? So I have question marks still with Detroit's defense. Jaden Daniels, the way he's playing right now, I mean, he was insane in that Bucs game. I mean, he was incredible. I think this game could very well go over. I think these are two high-powered offenses with both question marks on the defensive side of the football. The spread's 9.5 too, which makes me think Detroit's going to score a healthy amount of points here. And I think Washington, no matter what, they're going to score a little bit. I mean, this is a team that's scored consistently all year long. So that's a total tease. I mean, the other two sides I consider taking, but like the Buffalo-Baltimore over was juicy, just to throw that out there. But I just think that these were the smarter plays in this situation. So under 48.5 Texans Chiefs, over 48.5 Commanders Lions.
Yeah, I don't mind that. The only one that I guess I would say would worry me in there is that I think well, actually, we can just deliberate. I'll give you my pick because it has to do with this, and then we can deliberate, right? I like the Chiefs team total over 23.5. That's for 142, I believe. So now we can talk about it. That's the one that I think that I'm a little hesitant on the under. I think you're good taking the full game under, especially with the tees, because I don't think Houston's going to do diddly squat, okay? But I think the Chiefs are going to get theirs. If you look at the Chiefs in the playoffs, I know this team's different and we say that, but like how many times have we said that about the Chiefs? One, about the Patriots too, you know what I mean? Like these teams kind of turn it on. Could they be rusty? Sure. But I do think that they can go out there and get 24 points. Looking back at their just playoff going, I'll just name a bunch of their games. Ready? 25-17. That was in the AFC Championship last year against Baltimore. But then they go 27, 26, 38, 27, 24, 42, 42. This team, like plenty of teams in history, built for playoffs. And we just saw them put up, what was it? We just talked about it, right? 27 against Houston Saturday before Christmas. So I think both literally have a viable chance of hitting. I'm not saying that. But I figured I'd throw my pick in there because it does kind of go against one of yours. I think that Detroit and Washington, obviously, like that seems like it's the move. That total's so high. You're bringing it back down to earth now, and these two teams are out of earth type offenses. Nothing really to say about that other than maybe it's like a, it's like a sell high type spot versus a buy high, but Jesus, I mean, both these offenses are so good. But what do you think about that Chiefs team total over while having a teased under?
I don't mind it, honestly. I don't think it's a bad play. Again, they scored 27 points the last time they
Yep.
played. Like, so the Chiefs do, when it comes to the playoffs, they do turn it up a notch, especially with like Travis Kelce. Like, he had a really down year, statistically speaking. And you almost have to wonder, like, was it, the term that I've seen a couple of people use, like keeping the Ferrari locked up in the garage for a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
was it really like them kind of because I think it's, listen, he's in his mid 30s now. Like, he's getting up there, like to put a ton of work on his body. Not very good if you want to win a Super Bowl. So he's kind of, like I said, I mean, he didn't have a bad year, but by his standards, it was definitely a down year.
Right.
There could be a little bit of like, hey, now it's the playoffs. There's no pulling back. We're going full throttle now, and that's the other thing. Like, you got to remember, like, these coaches in the regular season, like especially a team like the Chiefs, they're hiding a lot of their, like, there's a lot of their playbook they haven't revealed
Andy
yet.
Reid especially, like that's 100%.
And now for the first time, like, we're really going to see the Chiefs. Like, now they're going to have Hollywood Brown. They're going to have Worthy, Hopkins, Kelce, and is Rashee Rice back? I know Hollywood Brown should be back.
I could check, but either way, I mean,
either way, like, this is the most high powered their offense has been. Pacheco's healthy now. Like, they're ready to go, and their offensive line is getting a little bit healthier. Like, the Chiefs, they definitely can score. The one thing where I think you could be concerned is the Texans' pass rush is legit, and like the Chiefs have had some issues in the offensive line. However, the last time these two teams played, it didn't matter. I mean, the Chiefs still got what they wanted, and they still scored. And
yep.
the reason why I like the under 40.5 mainly is because I just don't see Houston scoring. Like, they scored 32 last week versus the Chargers. They honestly, if the Chargers were a competent team, the Texans should have lost that game. They had, 3 interceptions and a fumble.
Yep.
And they still won by 20. Like, that doesn't happen in the NFL. They were really sloppy. This offense is not good right now, and they got lucky they played the Chargers. And at home as well. Now you got to go to Arrowhead. This is a warm weather team going to a cold weather area in the middle of January. I just don't see the Texans offense having anywhere near the kind of success they had last week. I think the Chiefs are going to hold them down. I think, honestly, 27-19 was the score last time. Something in that ballpark. I can see this being like a 27-20 or a 27-17.
Yep.
The Texans don't score more than 20 points in this game, though. And that's kind of where I'm coming from. The only way I think I lose this is if the Chiefs somehow go off and score like 30 plus. Then I think I'm in a little bit of trouble.
Right.
But I don't think Houston. Honestly, now thinking back to it, honestly, another good total bet would have been Houston team total under whatever. I don't know if the line is even worth it there, but like 21.5 or 21.
Let's see what that is, because that does seem like it's going to be. Let's see.
I just don't see Houston scoring more than 20 points in this game.
Yeah, they're like core line, right? You could have massaged it or whatever, but their core line would have been. Where do we have? 16.5.
Yeah,
so
no,
that's too low. Yeah,
but I don't think Houston's going to score more than 20 points in this game.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, the one thing you just mentioned too about like Kansas City could throw a wrench in it. It would help me, but if they go out there and score 30 plus or something like that, we can still give the Texans defense credit. You know what I mean? Like, that isn't the likely. Like, I think Houston's going to give them some problems, not enough to keep them under my line, but I think enough to keep them under from putting up a 42 spot and all of a sudden making yours, just kaput. So yeah, I do think that there's a pretty good chance that both of these can cash, because I just don't see Houston. I mean, Houston seems like they just used all their points last week.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert said, here, take another 7, take another 7, take another 7. He threw the same amount of
5 interceptions.
He threw the same amount of 4 or 5, right? But he threw.
I think it ended up being 5.
He threw the same amount of interceptions or more than he did in the whole regular season.
He threw I think it was like 3 all season. He threw 5 in last week. Like, some of them were tip picks. Like, some of them weren't on him, but yeah, they're not gonna, I can guarantee you, and this is, you can take this to the bank. You can put this one. Patrick Mahomes is not throwing 5 interceptions in this game. That's not going to happen. So
I agree. All right. All right. So total is going to be removed from the wheel. We'll now jump into round number 2, in which Tasos, I'm going first.
You're going first. Yeah.
Almost slipped up on that one. I'm fine with any of these. I feel the same amount of confidence and non-confidence in the board. So like, I have pretty middle of the pack view as of right now. So I'm good to I don't need to ask the wheel gods for anything here. So let's go ahead and just spin it. See what we got.
So you're cocky is what you're trying to say.
Pretty much.
And we're gonna get a money
line.
Here,
I honestly don't. I don't know if I love money line. That's a weird...
I don't really. There's not really a lot of value on these. I mean, 3 of these spreads are like almost a touchdown or more. So
yeah, not exactly loving the money line. It's almost like you got to take a The only, I mean, I think you probably know where I'm ended up
Yeah, I
going with
already know
this
what you're
one.
gonna do
Actually,
here.
at least the game. I don't know if you're on the same.
Yeah,
I guess I'll go Buffalo money line plus money. They're at home. You like the Ravens?
I like Buffalo.
Oh, okay. So I took it from you. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
the,
like Buffalo.
and honestly, I don't. How do I explain this? I could. I mean, I think Buffalo. I've been talking about them on this show that somehow I still think they're underrated based on how people talk about it. I was very shocked to see them come in as underdogs in this game. I don't. I'm not saying that they should they should have been massive favorites, but this is one of those games where I would have expected like a 110 on either side type of thing. So the fact that plus money there, I do like it. They're at home. I think they're better than the Ravens. This Ravens team, I mean, they look good. But still, I'm gonna go Buffalo here. I think that just based on one little factor too. You know how we talked about Mike Evans and Lattimore having that little rivalry. I kind of love the idea that I'm forgetting the All Pro quarterback. Is that what Lamar Jackson got? And Josh Allen didn't.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Whatever it was, I kind of love that factor that Josh Allen's like, whoa, what's going on here? And now he has the chance to shut people up. Both these teams seems like it could be their year too. Like if anyone's going to knock off the Chiefs in the AFC, it seems like it could be these two teams. And it
Yeah.
kind of stinks that they're playing in the divisional round together. But give me Buffalo plus 100.
Yeah, I mean, I like Buffalo. I will be honest, there's a lot of red flags in this game when it comes to taking Buffalo. Like, I do like the Bills overall in the spot. I think if I had to bet it myself, I would take Buffalo. The red flags are the fact that the Bills, their weakness on their defense is the run defense, and that's what Baltimore is dominant in. Also, you have the Ravens defense has been really solid. Like they start off the year, that was their one weakness, was like they can't stop anybody from passing on them. They've got a lot better. So, I mean, I honestly, like I said, if I had to pick this one, I think Buffalo would be my play because it is plus money also. So you're getting, the second best team in the AFC at home in a playoff game for plus money. I mean, you just can't beat the value there. But yeah, Kansas City, I mean, I guess that's the benefit of being the 1 seed, but
True.
just they keep getting lucky. They can't keep getting away with this. Like they get to pull Houston, which is an easier matchup, and one of these two teams are going to get knocked out. So it's like they literally get the perfect path, and then you only have to beat one of these two teams, on the road to the Super Bowl. I think Kansas City's probably going back to the Super. I mean, they were my preseason pick to win the AFC, which I know isn't like a shocking take, but yeah, I can't really go too much. Like I said, I wouldn't want to take Baltimore. I just think the home field advantage playing in Buffalo in the playoffs. I get it. They looked really good last week against the Steelers, but like Lamar in the playoffs, until I see him win a game like this or like beat the Chiefs, I'm always going to have that in the back of my mind. Like this guy in the playoffs tends to come up a little short. So
True.
maybe he proves me wrong. I don't know.
Let's see what this. I'm seeing 30% chance of precipitation.
A little snow game.
I don't know if it's snow. I mean, it's cold enough probably for snow, right? I don't know. I mean, we're recording this midway through the week, so anything can change there. But I mean, Baltimore can play in the cold too. You know what I mean? But I don't know. That at home, Buffalo, I think that could favor them. But yeah, like I didn't really dig too much into why I like Buffalo. You know what I mean? It's like if I sit here and give you all the reasons why Buffalo should, it's like that's just hearsay. Both these teams could easily win this game. So now I'm curious to see if you go anywhere else other than just taking the other side of this one.
I'm not going to. I don't want any business taking Baltimore. I don't want to.
True, and that would be that you could be sealing your own fate there with like two fate.
Well, that's you know what I mean. Like, don't get me wrong. If it's a win, it's great. But like, if I lose, not only do you get the win on Buffalo plus money, but then that's a loss of a unit for me.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with the strategy of taking one of these other favorites and just hoping. My thing that I'm scared of here is which one do I take? And because like, don't get me wrong, I think all three favorites there, the Chiefs, Lions, and Eagles, probably will win. But there is a little bit of a scare factor where it's like, Washington perhaps, the way they're playing right now, maybe they catch the Lions on an off day. The Rams. I'm gonna go ahead though and take the team. Just so juiced, but I just don't
money line parlay. I feel like if we can total parlay or something like that, if you could, like, I would sign off on that. I mean, that's risky of yourself, but you'll definitely get better odds.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, if you're gonna give me that option, I mean, I definitely will. I'll do 2-leg parlay money line. It's still not gonna be great value, but it's gonna be better than this. I'm gonna go Chiefs money line. Actually, I can probably go ahead and look what what's gonna be Chiefs money line, and then I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Eagles money line. I just don't think the Rams. That was the one I was on. I was gonna take the Eagles money line straight up. I'm concerned a little bit because the Rams obviously looked really good against Minnesota.
Really good.
The problem with the Rams though is like their defense is still not good. I don't care that they had 9 sacks against Minnesota. That was more Sam Darnold doesn't know when to let go of the football.
Did you hear the clip of the radio announcer in Minnesota?
No.
He was like, throw the damn ball, we're holding it. And then he's like screaming into the radio, and I was like, Minnesota must be losing their mind.
I
Like
think the next gen stats showed that I think 5 of those 9 sacks were his fault because he just wouldn't let go of the football.
It's crazy. But anyways, go
The
ahead.
Rams, like I said, it's hard to bet against the Rams right now, but I have legitimate do you look at their offense the last couple weeks before the Vikings game? 12 points to the Niners, 19 points to the Jets, 13 points to Arizona. Now they scored 25 in a loss to Seattle, but that was Matt Stafford. I don't even think played that game. And then they scored 27 on Minnesota, but Minnesota, obviously that team kind of fell apart. Their offense, we know it's really good, but this Eagles team is just a juggernaut right now. And I just don't see how the Rams defensively are going to be able to stop this Eagle. Now, these two teams did play a couple back on November 24th. The Eagles smoked them 37-20. I mean, maybe that's an advantage. Sean McVay is a really good coach, and that's the one area where I am concerned is the fact that McVay, he has the coaching advantage there over Sirianni. But I just think this Eagles team is way too stacked. And you're playing a playoff game in Philly, warm weather team to a cold weather area. I just think the Eagles are the better play. It's the scariest of those kind of heavier favorites, but I don't know what Detroit. Something about Detroit is off. It scares me a little bit. I think I have them to win the Super Bowl. That game scares me. Also, the value just minus.
Yeah, and I think at least to give you some credit there, staying away from that one, it's like I felt like there was no way the Bucs lost. I know that was a way closer spread and whatnot, but it's like that team just seems so much more destined to win. And Jaden Daniels, first round exit, whatever. It's a rookie, be back next year. He looks really good. Team comes from behind, they win it. That team seems like they have the most go off ability to shock someone. You know what I mean? So it's like I do see why, even though they're minus 500, I can see why you don't like that. Seems like the lock that would blow it. So I don't really. I kind of align with you on that one.
Yeah. So and that 2-leg parlay is minus 150 over on DraftKings right now. So I'm trying to see. Yeah, DraftKings looks the best odds minus 150. That's better to me because I would be. Again, if I were to lose H2H, let it be on a Chiefs loss. Like, I'm fine with that. I will take the H2H L if it means the Chiefs don't go back to the Super Bowl. But I don't see that Houston team is not good. And then the Eagles, Rams, like I said, I think the Rams and the Texans are both very similar in the sense that I think they played teams that were perfect for them to play at the moment they played them. Does that makes any sense? Like, the Chargers were a little bit, they had some issues underlying all year long, and the Texans exposed them. And the Rams, like I said, they're a solid team, no doubt, but I don't trust their defense, and I think the Eagles, I think they're just too much for the Rams. Like, how are the Rams going to stop Saquon? That's my thing.
I honestly, obviously I have a future on the Eagles to win, and I'll be covering this one on the channel. How are the Rams going to stop anyone? And honestly, this Eagles defense, say what you want about, playing, the Giants and the Cowboys, you look at their last 3 and whatnot, but it's like that Green Bay offense is legit. Josh Jacobs is a legit running back, and it's like, They make play, like 10 points. I know Jordan Love, they kept talking about his elbow. He was hurt. Save it. You know what I mean? Like, if he was that hurt, then he wouldn't be playing. That was a win for the Eagles. People on Twitter and in the comments were being like the Packers flopped and lost it. It's like, I think that if you watched that game play for play, that was like an Eagles win. They made the Packers lose. That wasn't like the Packers didn't show up. The Vikings, on the other hand, to your point, lost that game. Just the Rams looked great. The Rams probably would have beat a lot of teams if they played offense. Like, the fact that they, with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, just started to run the ball because they were up by they literally didn't throw a pass for the whole fourth quarter. That shows how well they played in the other 3. But I think that this should be a good spot. Like, I kind of like this parlay of yours there.
Yeah, I gotta give you credit a little bit. I mean, you gave me honestly, I was just gonna take Eagles money line at minus 278 and call it a day, but I think that's more obviously it's more valuable. But
when we do teasers, and sometimes even your teasers are just alternate line parlays for the better odds that we can get, right? Which, by the way, guys, if you're watching, I know DraftKings and they'll have that little toggle for teaser. Sometimes if you just put the same lines as alternate lines and parlay 2 different games, it's actually slightly better odds. But if we can do that, and you've been doing it all year, that type of thing, and I've had the ability to, I haven't, why wouldn't you be able to do like a money line parlay? Especially the big thing that I was like, oh, this makes sense, is because I already gave mine. I could see why maybe you going first when there's only 4 games and you do a money line parlay. It's like, well, now you just took out like half the competition. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
maybe 4-leg parlay. We're gonna go Bills, Eagles, Lions, and
exactly.
Chiefs. So
So
good
it's like,
luck
well,
picking a
then
money line now.
what do I do now? So, but the fact that I already gave mine, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
It does now bring. I mean, Fade Me could be a little interesting now.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know what the Fade Me round is, so we've already done our 2 rounds here, which quicker than normal. Normally, we have another round of the wheel. Fade Me is we're gonna spin the wheel. It's gonna land on either my name or Tasos' name, like it did at the beginning of the show. Whoever that lands on gets to make a play on the entire board, and yeah, the other person has to take the opposite. So odds to be considered and all that type of thing. There's strategy to this. There's some strategy to this. So, Tasos, I'm sure you want the rock in your hands,
I have
right?
a play. I have a play.
All right, let's see what we got. I'm going to spin it.
I'm gonna throw a kicker prop right in your face.
No. Uh-oh. He's going to get it, ladies and gentlemen.
I got it. All right.
I feel like you haven't had that Fade
No, I
Me
haven't had Fade Me in
forever.
almost a month. Almost at least a month, probably. It's been horrible. I'm gonna do this, and I apologize to the people watching because people are gonna be like, "What the hell?" Like, I came to this show to get some picks, and they're handing out this. I'm gonna go Lions money line.
Oh no,
minus 500. So basically, I'm just, and I think especially now, considering there's only three rounds, giving you that 1 unit loss is so much more important than getting any kind of value out of this line.
Yeah, I get plus 400. You get minus 500.
Yeah. If you win, I mean, you win the week. I mean, it's Commanders pull off the upset. You got it. But
if I win, I win Fade Me. I mean, I win H2H.
Yeah, this is more about handing you a loss because what this does is it gives me a little bit of insurance. If you basically have to go 2-0 to have a shot now, if this hits, right? You lose one other pick, and as long as I win, like I said, at least one of my picks, hopefully, I should be good to go. But yeah, this is more about handing you that 1 unit loss than anything.
This is why there's people in the comments that just hate your guts. This is the reason why that people are like, screw Tasos. Yeah, I like when people call you Takakos and they just spell your name so incredible. It's not a very hard name to spell.
What, 5 letters?
And people spell it so wrong. And I've never been more proud of them than this moment right now.
It was a good one.
Tekakos. I've never been more proud of those people than right now. So I have Commanders, which again, I do think that they have some go off ability, but this Lions team is really good. And it's almost like, the Commanders probably happy to be there now. Even what I said before about that Bucks win, like even if they lost, that was a win of a season for the Commanders, right? You hit on the draft pick. Terry McLaurin looks like he's back. That offensive line have a few sneaky players that are legit on that team, and now they go in and play another round. It's like I don't see them having the same fire, but that would be amazing if they did. But I don't love having.
I'll give you an option here. Just because I don't want to be the total jerk that makes this up. I'll take the Lions alternate spread -3, which is still minus 350, still a lot of juice. I'll give you +3 if that makes you any more enticing, or do you want to leave it at money line?
Let's just leave it at money line. I think that's you said it, and that it's still essentially the same thing, right? I mean, yes, I'm getting a field goal, but I wouldn't. That'd be major asterisks if now Washington loses by like 2, and I'm like, well, I hit your little secondary deal, so let's leave it where it is. We'll let the comments roast you for it. If you are watching this right now and you have something negative to say about Tasos, respectfully, this is the time to do it.
I mean, after last week, I had a little bit of a rough week last week. I'm sure people got some stuff to say, but. Look, it's about desperate times call for desperate measures.
And that's the Fade Me. Like, you're not going to find any as funny as it is. I know we've gotten comments being like, stop messing around with the wheel, just make picks. It's like we do so much of that on a weekly basis. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that is every other video on the channel. So this is the show that we have some fun with and whatnot. And that's why Fade like you're not going to see minus 500 from anyone else on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, so maybe that's the unique factor. It is a good spot because like I go full unit risking on the Commanders in the show, and then you're not going to make anything if Lions hits, but you're making that sort of net positive because I end up losing. So that's kind of, I mean, as crappy as it is to be on the other end.
Imagine though I win off of like another narrow victory, and it's like because I'm doing the math right now, what the units I'd win is. I'd win. Let's see here. 1 second.
Like if I go
0.2 units, I'd win off of this play. Imagine if I win this week by 0.2 units, and that it ended up not only did I give you the loss, but those 0.2 units are what drives I won by like 0.3 last week.
Yeah, I mean that is I don't even want to imagine it. I hope this one bites you in the ass. And also for my Eagles, like this would be pretty damn big for the preseason. Like there's a lot more riding
Yeah,
on this too. Like if Commanders somehow pull this off, Eagles' path gets a lot easier, obviously, and Detroit's no longer there. So
yeah. Well,
we'll see.
if you win this one, I'm over. It's if Commanders win, you win H2H for the year. I will not.
True.
I can't make up 4 units in this week with
True,
only
true,
two
true.
other picks.
And it would be like I guess it would only be good for my personal futures on the Eagles. So
Yeah.
nothing HH wise. But all right, yeah, that's gonna wrap it up a little bit shorter than normal because we did have one less round. But guys, if you made it this far in the video, go ahead and let us know if you think Tasos has a chance. Put a percentage down below. Do you think he has a chance to win H? He needs to win the next 3 weeks. Or including this one and the preseason episode in which I have the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. If they cash that, obviously I win that episode, right? So what percentage do you think Tasos has to win? Put that down in the comments. Anything to leave the people with before we sign off?
Let's just keep keep pounding our way to victory, guys. Listen. I know a lot of people they're on Team Ev. I get it. Everyone asking for Ev, but if you are on Team Tasa, the people that have been hanging on all year long, let's keep going. Listen, it's not impossible. Technically 4, but 3 weeks. We can do this. I believe in it. I want to go ahead and see your face in Super Bowl week, because this is the thing. Like I said, if I win this week, you're going to be so nervous next week because now it's like, I'm blowing this. Imagine Super Bowl week, Ev, you're going to be red in the face, shaking in your boots, like, oh my god, I can't blow this. This is where we want you. We got you right where we want you.
I can't deny that. Like I even said at the beginning of this show, it's already kind of altered how I like that. The thought is in my head as I'm making plays. You know what I mean? Like making picks. So it's fair. Like I wanted to go Chiefs team total over like 21.5, but then that would be crazy juice. So I went up a few points to get it to minus 140. Like, you know what I mean? Those 0.3 units, 0.2 units, whatever,
Yep.
they have to be in the back of my head right now. I'd be stupid if I was like, nope, let's just rock like they're not, because that's what I've been doing. And my minus 140s, your minus 110s can call any day of the week and gain 30 cents on me. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
it is what it is. But yeah, let's see how this season shakes out. I mean, nonetheless, heading into the divisional round here, it's been a phenomenal H2H week.
Yep.
Tons of upticks in performance of the video. So thank you guys for watching. I think we hit 10K last week, which we hadn't hit 10K since like earlier in the season. So
like week 3 or 4 was the last time we hit.
Really do
It was
appreciate you guys
most
for supporting the show and
video
whatnot.
in a while.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys haven't hit that like button or hit that subscribe button yet, go ahead and do so. Really do appreciate you guys. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Right. Peace out.